I can't tell you this from my heart. Hush. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with me, still I stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dancehall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone and you're stuck at the end of the road, keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with me, still I stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dancehall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone and you're stuck at the end of the road, keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. Oh, Lord, 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 Lord. Unstoppable. I can't tell you this from my heart. Hush. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with me, still I stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dancehall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone and you're stuck at the end of the road, keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with me, still I stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dancehall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone and you're stuck at the end of the road, keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. Oh, Lord, 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 Lord. Unstoppable.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sack This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here. And we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here. And we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river
I can tell you this from my heart. Hush. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with, me still a stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dance hall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone, and you're stuck at the end of the road. Keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with, me still a stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dance hall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone, and you're stuck at the end of the road. Keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. Oh, Lord, 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 Lord. Unstoppable.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey. Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources.
Good morning to you, and welcome down to another episode of Livewire. I click on this thing yesterday and then fix it back. How you guys doing? It's the 6th of the 6th of 2024, and we're here for yet another episode. Quite interesting episode lined up for you guys today. We'll be hearing from Councillors Jacobs and Diarmas in relation to the recently passed budget at City Hall the very late, recently passed budget at City Hall. And we'll try to find out from them how they accounted for spending pre-budget. So we're 6 months in the year already. The budget was presented and passed, I think it was yesterday. Um, but they've been spending since January 2024. So we'll be talking to the councillors today. And we'll be also talking to Mr. Randy Shepherd. Randy is, oh man, I didn't upload this thing. Madness is this. So Randy is spearheading in collaboration with several ministries and thought there's somebody knocking on the door. Yeah, he's collaborating with several ministries to host a walk, pre-Father's Day walk. Let me get the flyer up here for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, so he is collaborating with several ministries and also I think some companies in the private sector to host a pre-Father's Day walk, and that will be on the 15th of June. And they'll be starting from the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, moving north into Camp Street, and then west into the National Park, right? I see they'll have prices for different sizes of groups and age range and banners and things like that. So Randy will be here to talk to us a little bit about that. But before we get into that, let's say morning to all those wonderful persons joining us on the live here already. Lovely to have you guys here. Trouble. So Derek Drupal, Rahim Amarali, morning to you. Joan Abidjan, good morning to you. In the Paul Narain joining us from Minnesota. Omar Sharif joining us from NYC. Pam, special good morning to you and Trevor. Camille Narain joining us from Minnesota as well. Salome Suku, good morning to you, joining us from Brampton. Shakila Bridgelal, what's going on these Bangladesh, Shakila? Dale Henry, morning to you. Faisal Ghani, good morning to you. Pushram Kishore, Alan Khan, Nadi, Dolly Singh, morning to you. Special good morning to Councillor Stephanie Nelson Moore. We have to have the council on the program, you know. Had some recent developments there at the Mocha Arcadia NDC that we should discuss. So we'll have her on the program probably tomorrow. I'll give her a call and see if she's available. Ian, morning to you. Mazo Inshan, Bibi Kalicharan, Sherwin Siram, Jamila Kayum, good morning to you. Shakila Khan, good morning to you. Shelly Baldio, good morning to you. Joining us from the Key and Grove Health Center. Good morning to all the persons down there, all the nurses, the doctors, the nursing assistants, the midwives, the medics, all the persons down there. Morning to you guys there at the Key and Grove Health Center. Special good morning to Deshaun Abrams, Zoe Abrams, Miss Rita Little, and Mr. Little. Morning to the whole team. Philip Diabru, morning to you. Lisa Balkaran, good morning to you. Mr. Hanif, morning to you. Malchan Prem Kumar, morning to you. Dial Sukram, morning to you. Sally Jones, morning. Sally Jones, morning to you. Oh my goodness. Asif Ahmad, Rennie Prasad, Carla Thomas, Cecil Rampasad, Clifford Bangru, morning to you. Lynette Shiraj, morning to you. Jillian Lewis, Marisha Sami, big up yourself. Shirley Singh, Data Nandalal, morning to you. Jane from St. Martin, good morning. Veena Ramkaran, Saisonite Samaru, good morning to you. Henry Jagdio, Mohammed Isaf, Keith Adams, morning to you. Dianan Suku, morning. Rowena Lal, good morning. Special good morning to Tanya Mahabir and everybody down there at the Hydromet office. Thank you for predicting the weather so well and doing such a wonderful job. You guys take a big up. Safo Diabru, morning to you. Balwan Danraj, morning. Morning. Quincy Tan, you want to jump on the song? Yeah, only know the budget pass. Rajendra Mahis, morning. Maureen Razio, Ganesh Samlal. Yeah, 1 second, please. Just a second. Just just 1 second. Just give me a minute, please. Sorry. I really need to see what's going on there. I didn't know.
The only place I. This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana.
Right, back to cricket. Right, so morning to everybody joining us. Steve Chan, Lance Henry, Ronald Jones, big up yourself. Vishal Prasad. What? Anu Prasad, big up yourself. I wish I knew some Russian to say to you. Pam, I get rid of them. Everybody out. Tracy Martindale, morning to you as well. Anyway, before our guests, oh, I see Randy signing already. All right, well, before I get to Randy, matter of fact, let me get Randy out of the way. He probably got stuff to do. So, guys, we got Randy Prasad, Randy Shepard. Him for Randy Prasad. Randy Prasad is the IT guy that NC, and I don't know what's going on with me. Randy Shepard is here. So let's welcome him on the screen. Randy, morning to you, brother.
Pleasant good morning to you, Courdel.
So, Randy, big walk coming up on the 15th. Give us a rundown on what led you to work along with the ministries to conceptualize this, and what are you hoping to accomplish, and give us the whole rundown of what's going to be happening on the day and things like that.
First of all, thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the time to do this. Come the 15th of June, Men Helping Men, Hearing Men, Healing Men in collaboration with iSecure Security Service. We're having a pre-Father's Day walk. And now, basically, the walk is we will have motivational speakers there, and we have the walk basically is to try to empower and encourage men to be better role models, to be better fathers.
Yeah.
And we'll be more focusing on helping men to understand the importance of being fathers, the importance of being in their children's lives.
Right.
Myself being a single father, that is what gives me the motivation to do this. I realize how important my presence is in my son's life. And it motivates me to do this. If you look at the flyers, you will see we have the Ministry of Labor. They will have a booth there. BID, the Board of Industrial Training, they will be there also. And they will give young men and men the opportunity. It doesn't matter your age. You will be able to sign up for the different training that BID is providing. We're expecting also to have a booth from the Ministry of Health. Now, the booth from the Ministry of Health, we as men, we have issues with seeing a doctor. All right, so we have the Ministry of Health booth. We try to encourage men to get their prostate checked, do different testing, blood pressure testing, sugar testing. Try to install in men the importance of us being healthy. Right. So basically, that is what we're looking to achieve from this. We're looking to empower men, and when men leave that event, they can go back into their community and use whatever they would have learned there to help to develop the young boys and men within their community. Now we're gonna have some powerful books there from Guyanese author Gary Reid. He have a book training your sons to become fathers. This guy have some powerful books, so he's going to be there. He's
Right.
going to have some of his books there on sale. So we will be moving off from in front of the Ministry of Human Service on Lamaha Street. We're going to head west along Lamaha, take north into camp, and then east into the national park. I have reached out to some people who have influence, who can influence men to be there to do presentation. I doesn't want to put names out there.
Right.
They're going to be there, right? So I'm expecting a good turnout, and I just want to emphasize on men. Courdel, we were taught from the cradle that our emotions must be locked up inside. We were taught it's if a man become emotional, something is wrong with him. There is something funny about that, and that is why we have a lot of men. We have a lot of men in society that when it get more than us, we react one way. Sometimes that's violent, sometimes lashing out, because that is how we were taught. So we want to break that cycle. We want to help men to understand that it's okay to say you're not okay. And look, I just want to encourage men. Bring your sons out. Father, bring out your sons. Sons, encourage your fathers to come out. Bring out your nephews. Even mothers can bring out their sons. We're not saying that the women can be there.
So, Randy, if persons or other organizations, NGOs, private companies want to take part in this, is it that they have to sign up? How do they do that, or do they just show up on the day? Tell us about that.
You just show up on the day. There is no registration. We want to leave it open. You just show up on the day. You just show up. We are accepting if you want to donate a couple cases of water, juice, some snacks. We are accepting that. Now, if we have 3 prizes that we'll be giving out. We'll have a prize for the largest group of men. We also have a prize for the group that have the best design banner that is speaking of the theme of the walk. And we'll have a prize for the youngest group of men. So those are the 3 prizes. So there is no registration process. You just show up on the day. You want to make a contribution. My number is 625-7358, 625-7358. You can go on my Facebook page. You'll see the flyers there. Let's type in Randy Shepherd, and you'll find me there. My number is also on the flyer. There's Calvin Roberts. His number is on the flyer also.
Right.
I just want to encourage men, Courdel. Come out and be a part of this, man. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be powerful.
Also, is Men on Mission a part of this event?
An invitation was sent to the chairman of Men on a Mission. An invitation was also sent to the commissioner of police. Invitation was also sent to the chief of defense of the Guyana Defense Force. So we're expecting them to be there.
All right, well, Randy, good luck with this event. I definitely know me and Quincy going to be out there to support you. As men, we need to play our part in, making a difference and shaping the future, because those, as you said earlier, the role you have played in your son's life, it will help to guide him along, the right path, and not have him get involved in certain things later on in life. So, Randy, you and Calvin, I wish you well with the event. Again, people, it's happening on the 15th of June, a pre-Father's Day walk. Men helping men, hearing men, healing men, right? This is activity in collaboration with iSecure Security Services, and there is hope for men. It's okay to say you're not okay, right? Randy, give them the number there one more time, please.
625-7358, 625-7358.
All right, Randy, thank you for your time, man, and enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
Yeah, Courdel, thank you for the time, man. Blessings.
Take care. Right, guys. So, men, special morning to Prime Minister's representative for Region 2, Mr. Arnold Adams, on the live. Special good morning to you, brother. John Mitchell in Bartica was doing something similar to engage men and have them be properly guided in case they had the guidance. And the reason we need people like Randy, John Mitchell, Arnold Adams, men, real men, to show some of the, I don't know what kind of men to call them, how to act, is so that we don't have situations like these here.
And go on social media and say I wasn't talking about him, because the Friday night I did post on social media about abuse. I never mentioned.
Mind you, I saw this video a couple of days ago, and I was waiting patiently. I didn't want to use it yet because I was checking to see Melly Mel. I was waiting to see Amanza Walton, Desire Christina. I was waiting to see several persons who are usually vocal in relation to women's rights jump up and represent this young lady. You understand me? And again, I'm saying we need people like Randy Shepard. We need people like them to help some men to understand, to say it's okay that you're not okay. And it's not okay for you to do certain things like this. This young lady is complaining about here.
His name. When I posted that thing on Friday night about abuse, his friend Kitten Vera messaged me and she victim blamed me. She said she witnessed me calling him.
Victim, you see, you hear? Not a word from the opposition, right? And I am sure this is not apolitically correct at all.
There were witnesses saying I assaulted him, trying to intimidate me, basically. All of this has happened. I still reached out to Kian and I said.
So when she says Kian, she's talking about Kian Jabbour, one of the executive members of ANO. You understand? Where is Melly Mel? Nobody sent this video to Melly Mel. Nobody sent this video to Christina. What happened to Red Thread? I been here, see no press release from Red Thread. What's going on? Somebody invite Kian Jabbour to the men's walk. Probably somebody at that walk could talk to him and, he could stop engaging in these kinds of things.
If you don't want to go to court, let's solve this. He said, recant. At some point, I said, you know what, if that's what you want me to do, I will do it only if you sit down with me and you explain to me why you hit me. Explain to me why you assaulted me. Explain to me why you got physical with me.
You saw how willing this woman is to forgive. She just want to understand what is your problem. She just wanted to understand what was your problem. Kian, the men's walk is on June 15th. And the reason we need the men's walk is that we don't want the future men of Guyana growing up and behaving like Kian Jabbour. You understand? It's a sad situation.
I have all the messages. Why did you get physical with me? Kian said, either you do that or we go to court. So where I am right now, we're going to court. Because I told him what I said was the truth. And it will always be the truth. And I know my story. And I know I'm not the only woman with this story. Kian Jabbour is an abuser. And I'm not the first woman he's done this to.
Right? So I am playing it here. Hopefully somebody can tag Amanza, tag Melly Mel. Who else, man? They got a set of people who like to play the champion in the rights of women. Come on. Listen to the plight of this young lady. Indeed, Lola, she looks really hurt. Look at this poor young lady. She looks like such a nice person.
It's either...
Huh? Oh, my goodness. Simona Brooms. Where is Simona Brooms? Simona Broom's worry with the Rastamen in Linden. Instead, she worry about women's rights. Or is it because this young lady is not Afro-Guyanese? Thank you, Stanley, thank you. Gita Chandan Edmonds, put the bottle down. Put the glass down. Put the 25-year-old down. Address the needs of this young lady. Come on, where's Gita? Jarita, man, Stanley Hamilton. Stanley Hamilton, where is Jarita? This lady is of a similar persuasion as you. What is going on? Why haven't we heard anything from these female MPs? Put down the bottle. Gita, put down the bottle. Call this young lady. Find out her story. I think you're a lawyer as well. Represent her, man. Represent her, man. Clearly taco selling. So me buy powerful. Taco selling. Taco selling. So he's strong arming people. Y'all are powerful women. Christina, Jarita. I'm gonna scroll back here to see some of these names they call. Christina, Jarita, Gita, Simona. All come together and represent this young lady. Listen to the plight of this young lady. Or it's because it's not an allegation against a member of the People's Progressive Party that it's not important. Or is that, well, Anog is so irrelevant that, although they're committing crimes, it don't make sense. You know, run the pub. And at Ferguson, where are you all? I'm calling you all out here today. Please check on this young lady. Please check on this young lady.
We can't.
Annette, check on this young lady. Right? So we can give it another couple of days. We highlight it here on Livewire. We have a reasonable viewership. So it should reach to somebody in the opposition. And hopefully they take up the fight for this young lady. And they don't, man. Who's Marcel? Asif Ahmad, I don't know who's Marcel. I don't know any Marcel. But yeah, I'm calling on all the champions of women's rights to step up and so Randy Renetta Small trying to get on to you. She want to make a donation. So I'll pass the number after the show. Right? Anyway, so guys, please, if you know any of the opposition MPs that are usually vocal about these things, if you remember they had protests in front of the president and all kind of thing, please y'all go and protest in front of Anog for this young lady's rights, please. Or is she not Guyanese? Is she not good enough? We're waiting to see. We're going to give it another 2 days. By Monday, we're going to come back to this again. Let's see if somebody from the opposition picks it up and, you know, tries to look out for this young lady. Let's see. Let's see. You understand? I have to tell you all the time, when the fire had happened at Madia and the ministers were there, Prime Minister gone up there and stuff, passing on Main Street, Kian Jabur and 3 other people protesting State House because of the fire. And I was like, you for real? You for real? So I said, man, what about the abuse allegations against you? Oh, they were recanted. I said, but not because they recanted, they mean it ain't true. If you pay off the person, that don't mean you don't do the crime. You understand? So, just like Gary Best, not because Gary Best got off doesn't mean Gary Best wasn't drinking alcohol. Not because the machine wasn't calibrated recently that got him off, or one of the reasons he got off. That doesn't mean he wasn't driving under the influence of alcohol and caused the death. Gosh, who went out with me this morning? Jude Bentley. You understand? So let me see what they can do about it. Moving on, because we got some councillors coming just now. So I noticed this here. They had a video of the guy in black protesting Oh my gosh, I gotta get it for y'all. He is funny as hell. Well, we want a clean voters list. But back to the point, back to my point, right? This is a post that I saw on the APNU AFC Facebook page, right? Happening now, protest continues at GCOM office at Kingston, calling for clean voters list. Now, the first thing that jumped out at me is that we got the councillors, not even the MPs who got deal with the council. Don't worry with clean voters. It's LG coming up, but don't worry with that. You got problems in the city you need to focus on. You got the city councillors out here protesting for clean voters list when they are in a party with a CPU that voters list on would disappear. Y'all understand what I'm trying to tell you? Could you imagine the group that is calling for a clean voters list has a voters list in their party that has vanished, the CPU gone with the voters list? Classic case of pot talking to the kettle about its bottom. What is going on? How is this? How could you come out and hold a placard about voters list when your voters list in your party in shambles? A lot of them don't even know where the CPU is. James Bond came here and spoke about Aubrey Norton having super duper likability in the party and he doesn't need to do anything untoward. So then why remove the computer? The computer is there all the time holding this list. Why all of a sudden, why we never hear before or any Congress before that the CPU get moved? I really feel some of them think Guyanese are absolutely naive about things. They are absolutely, I think they think so. Y'all need to get your voters list in order first. Now, mind you, nobody had a problem with the voters list at not the second to last LG elections. Right? All of a sudden, when they realized they lost the 2020 elections, the voters list is an issue. Big problem. Oh, man. You guys need to clean up in there, man. Yeah. The voters list is a big problem. You understand? So I am suggesting to these councils, especially this one here, where they got +3. Especially you, sir. You don't need to be protesting in the sun anywhere. You don't need any more heat around your head. Your brain don't know what good Travis Ellis. Your brain already don't function good, Councillor Ellis. You need to be out of the sun. You understand? You need to be focusing. You need to be focusing on the committees that you work on and implementing change in your constituency. This nonsense y'all doing out here cannot suffice. Whilst you may be getting a mega salary at council, do the council's work. This here is wasting time. And until you guys locate the CPU and offer a plausible explanation to the Guyanese public and to your members of the PNCR, y'all should be the last set of persons calling for any clean voters list and whatnot. And allow GCOM to do their job. Who are you to determine that the voters list is dirty? GCOM has mechanisms to get persons off of the list when they're ready. So please, y'all allow them to do their job. I see my councillor guests starting to arrive. So I'll jump over to this here now. Well, we know Sharad, so I ain't in the mood for heat today. But just as I said, the budget was passed. And we're going to be hearing from Councillor Diarmas and Councillor Jacob shortly. Okay, so I see they're both here.
was passed in City Hall. It takes money to run a city, you know. Don't come wrong with funny. It takes money to run a city. You know what I wish? And I thought, after hearing Vice President Vice President Barjagdio talk about how the Vice President talked about how.
I mean, boy got the most jokes, you know, and they take offense quick when you start on them. That's why it is ripping to Aubrey North without fear, favor, friction, or ill will.
City forward. That has not happened yet. Apparently, he didn't get the election results yet for Georgetown.
I want you all to listen to this before I introduce the councillors.
Talk is very cheap. No, the councillors who sit on the other side of the horseshoe table, you know, they're in opposition in City Hall, but in national politics, they're in government. They could bring something to the table. The PVP can bring something to the table through Alfonso and whoever else got there.
Right. So we got Alfonso here, and we got Jacobs here. So we can talk to them. Now, before I introduce these, matter of fact, stop. People, please welcome Councillor Stephen Jacobs and Councillor Alfonso Diarmas to the program. We'll be discussing City Hall's budget today. Councillors, morning to you.
Good morning, Courdel. Thanks for having me.
So before I get into it, councillors, the viewers, Sherrod Duncan just said that these councillors here, they might not be in power at the council, but they're in power in government, and they should try to effect change. Now, I am wondering which country Sherrod Duncan living in, because especially these two here, all over the man. When last year I drive through Kitty? Anybody? When last year I drive through Kitty? You understand? When last year I passed by Bel-Air there where they got the 4-lane going out to Conversation 3. When last year I passed in Albright Town. So for Sherrod Duncan to actually say that, highly hypocritical. And my last point, lest we forget, 2015 to 2020, people like Sherrod Duncan had power of the council and the executive. You understand? And barely did, absolutely almost did nothing in the city. A couple of cleanups and that was about it. Anyway, nevertheless, councillors, morning again. Welcome to the program. So 3.2 billion budget 2024. Now, this was passed for the mayor and city council. And some of the focus areas for 2024, transparency and accountability with an emphasis on improving transparency and accountability in the council's operations. Core principles of service, a commitment to enhancing delivery of municipal services, stakeholder management, good governance, implementation of systems to process and ensure good governance, aiming to make the city more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. Councillors, budget 2024, in that 4 set of stuff that I list there, how are you accomplishing it? And before you get to that, your thoughts on the budget that was presented.
Well, sorry, Courdel, before I just want to touch back a little bit on what Sherrod Duncan said. That what is bringing to the table. And yesterday, Councillor Saul said that successive governments have failed to honor their obligations under the Fiscal Transfers Act, which does provide for subventions to local government authorities, including the Georgetown City. But the act also stipulates, and Sherrod Duncan should know this since he was deputy mayor for a while. I mean, right? He should know this. That the act also stipulates that for any of that to even happen, the city council should honor some commitments of their own, mainly being presenting by November 15th of the preceding year an account of the estimates for revenue and expenditure for the preceding year. This has never been done. The estimates should also include, or by March 31st, they should also present an account of revenues and expenditures for the previous financial year. This has never been done. So for him to say that central government should bring something to the table, I mean, as much as they would like to, because the city is a blight onto the country, it's tantamount to throwing money into a black hole when there's zero accountability. I see that they've emphasized increased accountability and transparency, yet we're halfway through the year and nothing has been done to enhance so-called accountability and transparency.
Right. Now, Councillor Jacobs, let me jump over here to you. Now, in terms of good governance, implementation of systems and processes to ensure good governance. I mean, it seemed a little vague to me. What's your take on this? What systems are looking to implement, really?
Morning again, Courdel, and thanks for having me. You know, like I said in council, that budget that was passed is just it's really a static framework for nothing. Because nothing will move. The monies are not really there. And then all the black and white that was formulated by Councillor Saul, because he was the person that mainly put together this budget. It's just words, because nothing will be implemented. Because the simplest of interventions are not being made, and it will just be business as usual as council. And like I said to my fellow council, it's like monopoly money. It's fake money. And then we boast about this $3.2 billion budget just to save face. And then when you listen to Sherrod Duncan, the PP councillors have been outside, walking the ground, advocating for a change in our communities, and you're seeing it firsthand. And like my fellow council mentioned, in terms of transparency and what council itself has to really take care of before actually being granted monies under the Physical Transfer Act. And even the subvention that they actually failed to receive last year because of not coming to a firm decision on what they want. Even that, the monies are there, but then you're still incompetent to not put together a proper plan or how you're going to utilize these monies to take to local government. So again, this makes no sense.
Yeah. You were saying something, Councillor Diarmas?
There's still $10 million left over from the last subvention they got, because they couldn't spend it. They didn't. But they couldn't even procure. So what they had decided to do was to procure compactors and a truck to move the compactors, and even that council wasn't competent enough to procure the things on time.
But it is often portrayed as if this subvention is being withheld, but it seems like there's a process for you to follow to access the subvention.
Yes, correct. There's a process to follow. And even if there were no process to follow, Courdel, even if the law wasn't clear as to the process that needed to be followed, no leader in his right mind, or no leader who cares for accountability and transparency and proper stewardship for the financial resources of citizens of Guyana would transfer money into a financial black hole. If you don't know what's going on in there are no audits. The city hadn't even reconciled bank statements from 2021. Only when we brought it to light did they start to make an effort to reconcile bank statements. Do you know what that means? It means for years, bank statements, Courdel. We're not even talking about accounts or anything of the sort. We're talking about bank statements hadn't been reconciled.
Man, so, since you jump, go ahead.
How on earth could a responsible leader or a responsible government decide that they're just going to transfer money like that? It's a recipe for corruption. It's a recipe for malmanagement, and it's just not going to happen until that part gets straightened out.
Yeah. Now since we're on financial management, so the council, I guess, is in the process of auditing its accounts to address concerns of being cash strapped. In terms of debt recovery, there's a plan to improve debt recovery by hiring and training more staff members. Now, this would call for revenue that I've been hearing the council doesn't have. Then, in terms of revenue generation, I see that there was a call to, well, various initiatives such as recovery of rates and taxes from property owners. I see something about enhanced flood and drainage management. I don't know how that is or how it correlates to revenue generation and regulating street vendors. Councillor Jacobs, well, let me start with Councillor De Armas. These audits, where are we in relation to these audits?
So I want to be clear first, before any audits can be done, the accounts needed to be regularized. So
Right.
before you do an audit, you need to, for example, have an asset register. Without an asset register, you can't produce a balance sheet, right? So this is something on other boards that I serve on, for example, at every board meeting, we're presented with a financial, an income and expenditure statement, a balance sheet, as well as a statement of cash flows. However, the city is unable to provide or doesn't provide a balance sheet or a statement of cash flows, and their income and expenditure statement is just say not well put together, not the most transparent. So they need to fix that first, and I believe that that's what they're working on. You need to get that asset register done. You need to be able to create management accounts in order to audit those in the first place.
Yeah, no, Councillor Jacobs, in terms of debt recovery, hiring more staff, training more staff, and revenue generation, share your thoughts on this. And I noticed that you had to lobby for them not to, I think, seize properties or something of that sort that was put forward in the budget. Speak to this. You're mute. No, not hearing you. So we're gonna wait for him to sign back in. But Councillor Diarm as well, as we wait for Councillor Jacobs to get back in here. How are you hiring more staff and training staff for your money? Will we get any money to pay the crumb?
It's an exercise in fantasy. Let me speak to how I believe those figures are fantastical. Last year's budget was 2.5 billion.
2.2, I think. No, that's 2022. Go ahead.
2.5 billion. However, we were presented with actual revenues up to September 2023, which was 1.5 billion. We don't know how much was received in that last quarter, but if you do a little bit of extrapolation, you can say that they got another 500 million, right? Let's say they got a 1 billion more, which is unlikely, but let's say that they did receive their 2.5 billion dollars, so there will be no deficit. Where on earth are the 600 odd million dollars more going to, where is that going to come from? You're halfway through the year, and all those measures that you've spoken about for to drive increased revenue, none of those things have begun to be implemented at all. So are you saying that in the next 6 months you're going to generate an additional $2 billion, $3 billion? From what? The city hasn't initiated any sort of extra revenue generating activities. There's been talk, yes, around the horseshoe table about monetizing council assets, etc., etc. But nothing concrete has been done at all. And another thing is that the budget didn't even take into account the debt servicing. The city's debts are ridiculous. They owe $2.3 billion to GRA. They owe 200 and something million dollars to NIS. They owe $90 million plus to GWI, and nobody knows the last time a GPL bill was paid.
Right. No, Councillor Jacobs, I was asking you to comment on the hiring of new staff and the training of staff, and I was had Councillor De Armas comment on it, because how are you paying these people? And then could you speak about the revenue generating initiatives that were put forward in the budget, and how do you see them actually bearing fruit?
Yes, Colonel. Thanks. So let me speak to the parade execution. One of the ideas that came out in terms of garnering revenues for delinquent taxpayers. So this is actually seizing citizens' properties to recover councils' taxes, and this was
Wow.
something that this was something that obviously the PPP councillors were against, and I raised it. and they then took it out, the document, took it out the document, obviously save face. But listen, the city, about 70% of the city revenues goes towards staffing. And then when you continue to add staffing, you would understand what will happen there. And then simple initiatives when it comes to training. We don't I don't want to say we don't, but in council, PP councillors have pitched ideas to the mayor so that he can lead and so that it will bring some sort of relief to the citizens. For example,
Right.
for example, so we have the city constabulary training complex that hasn't been functioning for quite a while. So we would understand in the city at the city constabulary department, we have some deficiencies there, especially in training. We have no SOPs for them. So we have the Guyana Police Force, we have the Guyana Defense Force, and then we also have the Security Council.
Right.
And they do training on a constant basis. So this is just a simple initiative. Why not use the resources of the city
You're back. Yeah, but with no audio again. You can't go out and come back in. I think somebody called him. All right, so Council the let's continue until Council just to get back. Now, let's look at environmental and public space management. Now, in terms of flood management, it's been put forward in terms of mapping areas vulnerable to flooding and implementing measures to reduce associated risks. Now, I mean, we really need a map. We don't know where we're in Georgetown floods, and also
Let me be
why have they been cleaning the drains initially?
let me be honest with you, Cordell. None of that there is going to get done. Is going to get done. That's just there as fluff. It's just there as nothing of this sort is going to happen. I mean, you can't even keep track of the unauthorized constructions and the violations of zoning laws in the city. I can't. I don't think none of that is going to happen unless they work with NDIA, with central government to get things. And NDIA provides so much assistance already, so much assistance. But this sort of mapping, this sort of things, I'll be frank, I have no confidence at all that any of this is going to happen. At least not in the next 6 months.
So I mean, there should be there's supposed to be a focus on improving air quality and waste management to minimize the city's negative environmental aspect. Green and public spaces, ensuring inclusive, safe, and accessibility to green and public spaces. So where they're putting these green and public spaces? What kind of spaces they're talking about? You have any idea?
The only improvements to green and public spaces that are happening around the city and outside of the city really are because of central government's central government's interventions. Nothing to do with City Hall. In fact, they don't with no asset register. I don't know how they can know exactly which grounds are theirs for them to do this to do any of this. Honestly, it sounds fantasy.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. I mean, I have no confidence that any of that is going to happen.
I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain. Look, so I see Councillor Dancing criticize the late presentation of the budget and the lack of accountability for the first 6 months of spending. Now, you have often talked about this, and really and truly, since the year began, you've been lamenting this. So, how do they now account for these first 6 months? If in your mind, or how do you go about that?
So they have been presenting because we've insisted on it. We've literally insisted on it. They've been presenting summarized statements of expenditure for some parts of the year, and revenue for the year. But we're in June. None of that is I have no confidence that that is remotely accurate. We're in June already. We don't know how much has been spent, really. We don't know how much has really been received, and I'm certain that there is a huge outfall, a huge outfall that would take a miracle to make sure that that $3.2 billion is in revenue is received. I mean, it just sounds like an exercise in fantasy. It sounds like a Lord of the Rings novel, or one of those, and a Nancy story from no, I'm not saying it to attack or to insult. I'm just stating what is. I'm just trying to be.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
Yeah, that's that, plain and simple. Councillor Jacobs, you're telling us about the seizure of people properties and those kind of things that were put forward in the budget.
Yeah, but sometimes Council Alfonso, he gets a bit soft, not trying to attack, and you're just being factual and frank. A break-even budget is not realistic, and that is misleading the public. So you put high figures, and then you say, oh, look, $3.2 billion, but you don't have the monies. Where is it coming from? And you have no proper plan. Yes. And then you have no proper plan to recover these monies.
Yeah.
And then it's all talk. And then you continue after the headlines, after the lights, the camera. We go back to business as usual, where we sit around the horseshoe table and just talk. And nothing gets done. And we continue to say with all of these ideas. An idea, and I like to quote His Excellency, an idea will remain an idea without quantum effort. So you cannot just have these ideas and not persuade them in a robust way.
Right.
You can't just have that. So we were talking about we were also speaking to a simple MOU signed with the Mayor City Council, the City Police, the City Police, the Guyana Police Force, and Guyana Defense Force. If we have a well-oiled and functioning City Police service, it will then help the Guyana Police Force. So they would have to send less manpower because the Guyana Police Force has to deploy police officers at the markets to do patrols. They also have outposts at the Stabrook Market and so forth. So it will then help the Guyana Police Force as Guyana continues to expand. But they don't have this vision. And they don't want to confront challenges and come up with solutions. And I said this in council. Take a page out of the PPP's government and how they operate and the brand and style. They confront challenges, they meet out with their people, so you can then make well-informed decisions and put policies and programs, initiatives, so that they can then better service the city. Courdel, something as simple as this. The mayor has not met with any of the staffing. When I say staff, as a whole body, the full staffing, and let them understand where council wants to go, not just the head of department. Because when you meet other people within the system, you get to hear and you get to analyze and then bring forward ideas. Simple things can make a difference, but you have to be between the people, amongst the people to do it.
You got to put out that do not disturb. You might have to sign out and sign back in because the mic would have gone over to the phone call. Yeah, so we're going to wait for Councillor Jacobs to get back. Now, Councillor De Armas, it was mentioned earlier that this budget does not cater for any of the debt that City Hall currently has. Utility companies, Guyana Revenue Authority. And I heard they're supposed to come back with a supplementary for that. But based on my knowledge, the monies owed is almost or more than the current budget.
Well, yeah, it's almost as much. So a few things, right? One of the key strategies in the budget, right, is that they're going to seek to recover or have the defaulting ratepayers pay. Now, one of the according to them, right, one of the bigger defaulting ratepayers is central government. So they hope to get, and I understand the politics behind it, right? Later on in the year, when they're very cash strapped and they can't meet their things, they're going to start crying about how government hasn't paid up their rates, and so they included it in the budget that their accounts payable is $5 million as of December 2023. When the reality is that it's billions, it's billions. Right now, the Guyana Revenue Authority has a court order to seize any and all of council's vehicles because they owe $2.3 billion in PAYE, right? $2.3 billion. They owe $90 million plus to GWI. None of those things was taken into account. They owe, and nobody knows the last time GPL was paid. That bill could very well be $500 million.
And it's after we raised it yesterday, then they then said they'll do a supplementary budget soon.
So I was just saying to Council the Armas, Councillor Jacobs, how are you coming back with a supplementary when the bills of the council is actually the money of the budget? The entire budget or a little more. Your bills is more than what you budgeted.
Exactly. And that will take up the expenditure. And listen to Courdel, right? The council takes monies from their staff salaries to then pay to GRA. Deduct it every single month. And you know that this can affect staff when they're filing for returns.
Right.
Well, you actually know that the money is not there, right?
Yeah,
They
well,
deduct it.
I think was Councillor the Armas explain it how. No, was it town clerk? The town clerk explained that
the money
it's not there, but they think
it's not exactly, and they continue to deduct, and that is criminal.
Yeah,
because you cannot do that. You cannot deduct the from the salaries and not remit. That makes no.
And for the budget to just gloss over this, to not even include it, I mean, it's pretty egregious. That's why we're confident in saying that this budget isn't based in any sort of reality whatsoever. I mean, to just ignore your debts. There's no debt servicing component in it in the expenditure part.
Let me ask it to you something. Have you been involved in any consultation for the formulation of the budget?
Only as much as here. And the finance committee has had meetings. The finance committee, of which I want to be clear, we only have one voting representative, and that's Donson, right? There's a staff of 7 people, and only one of them is a PVP has voting rights. And we were invited to go and listen to the presentations by the administration, right?
Right.
So got to listen to the engineering department, the market department, the town clerk's department, the public health department.
Right.
That's as much consultation as was done. And yet you'll hear the mayor say, "No, this budget was crafted by everybody. Everybody had a chance to participate." But all we had the chance to do was to listen to the presentations done by the head of department. That's it.
Was it the same for you, Councillor Jacobs?
Yes. Yeah, we were invited, and like Councillor Alfonso mentioned, there's just one member from the PVP in the finance committee. So when you look at passing and voting rights, you just have one. And then if I want to, because it was clear what Councillor Alfonso said, but if I can just go back to what Chair Duncan actually said, as in we're being the opposition in council, is actually quite contrary to what is peddled by the mayor. Because what he says, it's 30 councillors and everybody can speak and everybody can share But then, when you look at the committees, they dominate all the committees, and they have the power and the voting rights.
Right.
So while we can bring these ideas and initiatives and so forth to the table, and of which we continue to do, it is not really and truly supported.
Mm.
And he's right. I'll give you an example, Cordell. A simple example. The budget included $15 million provision for legal services, right? For the year. It's not a big sum.
Mm-hmm.
$15 million. I suggested that instead of paying out budgeting $15 million, that we hire in-house counsel at lower cost. That it would cost less. The wage
Right.
for an in-house
Right.
counsel would be under $1 million, which would save money. But that wasn't,
Yeah.
the
But
other companies do this instead of going to, if you're going to be at court quite often, and city council is quite often taken to court, then it makes fiscal sense to hire somebody to be in house, so that you don't have to pay these outrageous legal fees every time you go to court.
I wanted to ask, so you represent the constituency, likewise the other PPPC councillors, as well as the other councillors, all constituency each. Well, and then you might have proportional and constituencies. So with the budget, it's not a case where you say, well, my constituency, these are the suggestions that I'm making in terms of having a budgetary allocation. And like, take for instance, Councillor Jacob's area, Kitties, he put out a proposal to send to the finance committee saying, hey, this is what I want to see happening. And let's see the council. Is that the case, or it's just the finance committee sets the agenda or spending for the council? I just want to be clear.
Yeah, so, no, you're no consultation was done with any of the constituencies, as far as I'm aware, to decide how much money should be allocated to constituency projects. What they did is they allocated a lump sum, $300 million, for constituency projects. But this again speaks to how unrealistic the budget is, because some constituencies may need more work than others, right? To just allocate a lump sum without any sort of consultation with your constituents is ridiculous. It's lazy work. You just allocate $300 million more. You don't even know where the money is going to come from. It's probably not going to be available. Let's be real. It's probably not going to be available.
But this was placed under the mayor's office. Don't forget that, right? That is a 500% increase from the last budget. And I raised that yesterday. And I questioned it. But listen, listen to this one, Cordell. So for persons that live on reserves, or actually apply their trades on reserves, they need to seek a no objection from the mayor and city council to apply for water and lights and so forth.
Right.
All of this, the mayor had mentioned just yesterday when I spoke to having a more hands-on approach. He was saying that everything needs to go through council for approval in terms of full council vote on it and so forth. But these no objections comes directly from the mayor's office straight to the individual who applies. So he gives, or he has the authority to give,
without consultation.
No objection, without consultation. Yeah. And then you will have issues where somebody comes in, Cordell, I've been on this property for 12 years, but council don't check, and he gives it out.
Wow.
What happens in, so twice, because I'm on the city works committee, twice something like this came to us, just 2 times. But they have instances where you have persons collecting the no objection, but no proper vetting was done, because what we do, on the city works committee, you do a site visit and you do your own investigation. Because remember, you have to protect council at all costs,
Right.
right? And then there's also a fee. I think a fee of 5,000 or something like that for this. But this is what is done. So I'm saying to you, this is what he claims, but this is what happens. And this is something that we definitely need to look into.
Look, councils, before I let you go, what is your, we can start with Council Diarma. Same question for you, Council Jacobs. What is your forecast for the next 6 months, wrapping up 2024, based on your budget now being passed? And also, do you think you guys should start, or the council should start planning budget 2025, like today? Go ahead, Council Diarmas.
Yeah, correct. I hope that we can start planning budget 2025 today. Yesterday, we should have started. We should have started already. Obviously, we're going to hear the litany of excuses, and hopefully we won't have to wait until next year June to get a budget. That said, I wrote in one of my letters to the Stubborn News that I predict that before the year end, City Hall is going to be once again find itself cash strapped, and it's going to start yelling to the high heavens about victimization and politics from the PPPC central government.
Right.
Well, a couple of things. They haven't done anything really to drive revenue, to drive accountability, to drive transparency. And most importantly, they didn't pass a budget until halfway through the year when it was statutorily due way earlier. So they are going to find themselves cash strapped. They are going to find themselves in a position where all these lofty goals and aspirations that they have put down on this budget, it's not going to be attainable. And that's when they're going to resort to the politics, and once more start proclaiming to the high heavens that it's as a result of the PPPC victimization, and they don't want the city to prosper because it's led by the PNC. But none of that is true. Why present a budget that is more realistic? Honor your obligations under the Fiscal Transfers Act. Make sure that you provide an accounting for revenues and expenditures for last year. Get the asset register done, get the audits done, and I don't understand what's so difficult about getting those things done. And yet it's not going to happen before the end of the year, and we're going to hear once more the cause of victimization and blah blah blah. It's all very predictable.
Yeah, Councilor Jacobs.
I'm very cynical, no longer frustrated. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's quite predictable. I have never seen a mayor so unaccountable. He doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. And then in the budget, when you look at assumptions that can critically affect the budget, they have a whole bunch of excuses in there already. Like I was telling Councilor Alfonso, they have the excuses in there already. They mentioned central government. They mentioned central government name, from the start, so they can always just roll back on that.
Yeah.
This because of this, it was said here, right?
Shifting blame.
Right, and that is what continues to happen. But listen, what I'm going to hold them accountable for is what they actually said in the budget. So by September 2024, we're going to have a QuickBooks software fully functioning in the Treasury Department. So I'm going to hold them to that. No, because it's there already. And I love that they said it. And I love that they had a timeline on it. And then we're going to speak to the 2025. By July 2025, the cemetery, what was it, Fonzo?
I don't remember, bro.
Right. But I'm holding them to that because it's there. It came from them. And like we said, it's predictable. Right?
Jacobs and Alfonso. QuickBooks is so 1996. We doing QuickBooks now.
No, Courdel. QuickBooks Cloud. Like there's a version that is relatively easy to use and to set up.
Okay. Because I QuickBooks are here, but I'm back in the school days, man.
Take a guess. What they're using now for accounts. I'll give you one guess.
a glitchy software.
No, for accounts, Jakey.
What, Excel?
Yes, they're using Excel.
What? We don't win a chicken dinner. What my price there? Oh my goodness.
So 1763. Right, so it's very much obvious what they'll come with, and we understand this. But what we'll continue to do, and I'm sure that you will agree, Cordell, we'll continue to speak out. We'll continue to apply the pressure. We'll continue to work for the people of Georgetown so that changes can be made, and we'll continue to keep them on their toes. Whenever they're coming to council meeting, they need to understand that they need to come correct, because we'll be on the ball to make sure that policies, programs, initiatives are directed to the development of Georgetown and for the citizens.
Yeah. No. For actually divine, some requests, some $4,000 or some funeral, something. How true is this? So please give me a word about it. Please.
So what had happened? The late Oscar Clark, who's being, a great member of Guyana, a great, stalwart in terms of being on the council, being a former minister, being somebody who's always been in politics. They had decided to do a night or a reflection, at the mayor and city council. But then numbers were just thrown out. 500,000, it was like an auction. 500,000, 400,000. So I'm like,
600,000.
yes. So we need to understand what are we really paying for? What is it?
Right.
So it was then said, I stood up and said, I'm very surprised that we're finding all of these monies now. We speak to the treasurer, and we're finding all these monies now. And just downstairs at the kitty market, we just need $300,000 to complete and have it functioning. And then I also said, will this be applicable to all councillors? No, it has to be the council will decide. I said, okay. But then the council decide. But then yesterday, in which the mayor was very disrespectful to the town clerk in saying that he doesn't recognize her and so forth, and not giving her a chance to respond and say why a check wasn't prepared directly to the mayor for the $400,000. And it was expected that you need some sort of paper trail. Because when you're going to have an internal audit, what did I give you $400,000 for?
Right.
Okay, it was for lights, it was for chairs, it was for tents, it was for meals, so none of that was done. I'm not sure if they got the
normal person would expect that.
I'm not sure if they got the $400,000.
The way it works in the private sector, or at least the way it works for any organization that wants to be accountable, is that you provide invoices, purchase order, whatever it is. You provide this sort of supporting documentation, and based on that supporting that documentation, then you collect monies. Not just be given money just like this.
Yeah.
So while council did make a decision to make available $400,000, I think, to support Oscar Clark's
council by majority, please.
By majority, right? Because in the absence of a budget, PPP councillors are very reluctant to support any sort of spending.
Yeah. Anyway, Council De Armas, Council Alfonso, thank you for being here on the program with us. Y'all keep fighting the good fight. I gotta start coming back to City Hall and broadcasting the live from there, so we can see the kind of behavior and the nonsense firsthand that comes out of certain sections of City Hall. Again, thank you guys for being here. Continue doing the work. Despite Sherrod Duncan not seeing y'all bringing anything to the table, the people in the various constituencies, they're benefiting and they're seeing. So, keep a good fight.
You know what we've brought to the table? We've brought an increased push and an increased drive for accountability and transparency. That's what we've brought to the table. It can't be Wild West spending in a dark abyss as usual. And as a former mayor, you should know that.
Anyway, Coach Alfonso, take care. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Yeah, so that was Councillor Alfonso and Councillor Jacobs from the Mayor and City Council giving us a rundown on budget 2024. The 5th of June 2024. That's how crazy it is. You understand? The 5th of June 2024. And I'll say by on behalf of Councillor Jacobs, he's a very busy guy. You know. Oh no. Oh no. What's this? It's not blackout, people. I jammed the power. Right. So that's it for me today. Guys, thank you for being here. Continue to be good Guyanese. And I'll say this much. Drink your water and mind your business. Despite what people say about you, you keep doing you. And you keep being real. You understand? Peace, love, one Guyana.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here.
I can tell you this from my heart. Hush. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with, me still a stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dancehall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone, and you're stuck at the end of the road. Keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Stay strong, stay strong. Any weapon rise against me shall fall. No matter what them come with, me still a stand tall. The more side they up on him, me can call. These feet firmer than a million wall. Love get caught in a hatred and fall. Crawl on the belly like serpent and ball. Still my, oh Lord, the undisputed king of the dancehall. Oh no, even though you feel like your hope is gone, and you're stuck at the end of the road. Keep going, you can weather the storm, but don't fall. You're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable. Oh, you're unstoppable.